Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's Wyatt Sicks video. So, the Uncle Howdy story reportedly is going to have 3 phases. The first phase is going to focus on Uncle Howdy and Nikki Cross. They are the key characters in this first phase. But there is another character that is going to emerge that is going to be so important that you really need to be paying attention to them, even right now, right? But eventually, this person is going to come forwards. They're going to become Bray's successor. And in the words of Tom Colohue, they are going to take Bray's throne. That person is Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy, Huskus, is apparently super important, right? Watch the pig. Now, there's a couple of things to touch on here. Tom Colohue, right, has done a video today. This spoiler warning, you can see 10 hours ago, right? He posted this. I believe his stream ended about 6 hours ago at the time of recording this. And I've got so many weird thoughts because if this was Dave Meltzer or if this was Sean Ross Sapp, I would not even think twice, right? Wouldn't even think twice about sharing with you the information I'm about to share with you. But I do sort of think twice about sharing it because, first of all, I think Sean Ross Sapp and Dave Meltzer have got well-established reputations. Everyone's got an opinion on them, right? With Tom Colohue, I think he's establishing his reputation now, right? He's worked at Sportskeeda and he's worked at other organizations and he's been in wrestling journalism for a long time, right? A long time. I think he's been doing it since about 2016, but writing even before then, right? So he's been on the scene a long time. I've seen his name mentioned on loads of different reports, right? But he's always worked for other people. Now he's gone out and he's working on his own. As a result, it's very hard to know when he says something, where it's come from, how good his sources are, all this kind of stuff. He is someone that's kind of establishing himself right now. He's been around on the scene a long time, but it's hard for me to sit here and go, well, he got that right, he got that wrong, he got that right, he got that wrong. So there is a degree of trust here, right? I'm going to put my hands up and say, I can't give you a long list of stuff that he's got right. I'm sure he can, right? I'm sure he can. I'm sure he's got all the receipts for all the times that he's been correct. But I can't sit here and give you loads of stuff that he's got right. All I know is he's someone whose name I've seen around a lot. He's someone that's worked for some big organizations like Sportskeeda, and now he's branching out on his own, right? He's someone that's given us some interesting info. He spoke about how Alexa's going to join this group further down the road, not at the start. Lo and behold, the group come in. No Alexa, right? Alexa still expected to arrive around SummerSlam time. Still expected to interact with this group, right? So, so far, so good is all I can say. So the reputation thing is something where I'm going to say to you, take everything we're about to say with a pinch of salt. I am listening to Tom. I will continue to listen to Tom. He's not done me wrong, right? But he doesn't have that reputation yet of a Sean Ross Sapp, of a Dave Meltzer. He's building it right now, okay? The other thing I would say is because he's building his reputation, I kind of feel like people should go to him to get this information. Like Dave Meltzer, hundreds of channels put videos out to do with stuff Dave says. Same with Sean Ross Sapp, but not that many people talk about what Tom Colohue is saying because he's building his reputation. So that sort of means, like, I feel like we're taking his stuff and talking about it, which is good. I feel like he wouldn't mind. I feel like we're spreading the word and we're encouraging people to go and, you know, subscribe to his channel, watch his streams, follow him on Twitter. Like, you know, we're encouraging people to do that. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels a bit weird, really. I wouldn't even think twice if this was Sean Ross Sapp or if this was Dave Meltzer. So again, I hope I'm getting my messages across nice and loud and clear on all of this stuff, right? Definitely support him. Definitely check out what he's saying. I'm going to tell you a lot of the stuff that he has said to do with the Wyatt Sicks in this video. There may have been the odd bit that he mentions that I didn't make a note of, but he goes into detail for each of these characters, right? And some of that information we shared at the start, you know, there's more in here along those lines. So we're going to touch on this, but please, please, please show him some love, because this has all come from him, okay? This is where I got it from. It's all come from him. So he says, go back to an interview with Sam Roberts 2017, because apparently there was a Bray Wyatt interview with Sam Roberts, and it is definitely worth revisiting. So need to do that. Haven't done that yet, but 2017, he says, go back to that. So he says, Bo is the leader, but this is not built around Bo. Bo is the leader. He is the mouthpiece, but this is going to be a vehicle to actually achieve quite a few things. This is not just about Bo finishing his brother's story. It's bigger than that. There's more to it than that. And an example we can give is that this is the guy they're looking to be the breakout star, right? This is the guy they're looking to try and launch into the next Bray Wyatt, right? Now, I know you can't really be the next Bray Wyatt, just like you can't really be the next Undertaker, but you can be the next face of fear. Do you remember that? The new face of fear. So that's what Gacy can become. So it's also a vehicle for that. And in a way, it was a vehicle to bring Erick Rowan back. He's on a good contract that's apparently going to be around for a good few years if this all goes to plan. So, you know, there's a few things being achieved here. It's not just about finishing that Bray story, right? Now, apparently he's got lots of masks, Howdy, but they're not drastically different. But they do want you to see his mouth. They do want his emotions to be visible. They are trying to get across grief and loss, right? And you're going to get to know him better over time. He will wrestle as himself and as Taylor/Bo. Don't know which, but it'll be a Funhouse Fiend kind of a thing, where you've got both sides, not just the masked persona, but the unmasked persona. And that did show itself actually on Monday, because of course we did the interview with both Howdy and Taylor sat in that kind of funhouse, abandoned funhouse. So we have seen him without the mask, Taylor. 3 phases, Howdy and Nikki first. Nikki is a focal point. She's like a scout. She is a very interesting character, not Sister Abigail, a tribute to Sister Abigail. We know these are the puppets brought to life. We know the backstory of Abby the Witch. That's not Sister Abigail. It's Bray's manifestation of Sister Abigail. Sister Abigail died, right? And so he was left with his memories of her. He kind of was able to create a puppet in his mind that symbolized Sister Abigail. Well, it's that puppet that's been brought to life, just like all the other puppets. So Nikki is not Sister Abigail. She is the tribute to Sister Abigail. It'll be very interesting to see where that story goes. But yeah, it's good to get some clarity on that. That's something we've spoke about before, actually. He said that she'll appear as a stalker in the background at times, which I thought was interesting. That's a great way of using her. She's had the second most masks made so that she can show emotion. She can't show emotion the same way as Howdy because her mouth is not cut out. Her mouth is not exposed. So she has to sort of change her masks to convey the emotion she is feeling at that time, right? So she is, I don't think it's going to be a case where she's sad and then she'll change to happy and then she'll change back to sad and all this. I think she'll just wear the one that kind of captures her overriding emotion at that point. All right. So, and apparently, this is what I like about Tom. He's not like just with some people that I think like you don't know whether you can trust them or not. They are very loose with what they say. Tom is the exact opposite. He's very specific with what he says, which just makes me feel more confident he is being told stuff. Like I mean, why would you make up this line? She hears and smells no evil. Where's that come from? She cannot see or hear or smell no evil. He said that's what he was told. It makes me think of the monkeys that do the can't see, can't hear, don't speak. It makes me think of that. Are they leaning into that for her? But I don't know quite how that will show itself. Don't know. That's quite cryptic, that bit. But definitely felt like that was something he was told directly. So obviously we spoke. So that was Nikki. We spoke about Huskus. He is going to fade in the background, but he will ramp up in importance. He'll hide what he's doing. That's not really him hiding so much from us. It's more just hiding his importance, I think. So I don't quite know how that's going to show itself. Is it that a lot of these attacks are actually being done by him, and it's going to be revealed that he was the one behind the majority of the attacks or something like that, you know? So yeah, something to keep an eye on. He's Bray Wyatt's successor. He will take the throne. Apparently he was mentioned years ago as being someone that Bray had his eye on, even going back before the pandemic. So the fact he's now in this group is obviously very interesting, because he's someone that I think Bray was aware of his work. So that's why I think a lot of people are looking at this thinking he is the successor. Couldn't establish if that was what Tom had been told directly, or if this is Tom going back, looking at old interviews or whatever, but he's really adamant on this point, man. He's really adamant on it. He says it through like several times throughout this. He's adamant about watching the flipping pig, right? And that this is Bray's successor. Mercy, right? So Mercy over here, he apparently is someone that's got nothing to hide. He is someone that will be right at the front. He is someone that he won't be at the front all the time. Like, he's not taking a front position right now, but he will emerge when it's time to fight, because he's going to be someone that's loyal to the group but difficult to control. I suppose in a way a bit like Butch, in the sense of when it was time to talk, Butch was in the back, right? Sheamus can do the talking. When it was time to fight, you had to hold Butch back, right? Butch was like, oh, let's go, you know? And difficult to control, but very loyal to the Brawling Brutes. Now, Tom didn't mention Butch. That's just my comparison. But that's, I think, the kind of character we're going to be getting with Mercy. Someone that when it's time to fight, right at the front. When it's time to talk, a bit more at the back. Someone that's loyal to the group. But only will be loyal if he gets what he wants. And apparently what he wants is revenge. The names of Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory were mentioned by Tom. And apparently he has got an axe to grind against those guys. He is the one that's expected to be in the tag team with Rowan. And they would be the tag team. Obviously, Howdy would be the leader. And so that means that Huskus would be the one that would go after, say, the mid-card belt. But obviously, long-term, we're looking to move him up in importance. I think what's so exciting for me about what Tom's speaking about is none of this has really shown itself yet. And I think what's really exciting is we've got all of this to come. I mean, you look at the bloodline and you look at their relationships and like Solo turning on Heyman tonight. I mean, oh my God, amazing, amazing moment, right? But that's been brewing and building for quite a while. And we know that when Roman comes back, he's not going to be happy, right? And so because we know these characters, we sort of know how they're going to interact with each other. And we can get excited about, oh, when Roman comes back. We can't do that with the Wyatt Sicks yet because we don't know anything about them. We don't know how they interact with each other. We don't know their personalities. But all of this is stuff that we're going to find out. So I think what I love about all of this info from Tom is it really is kind of showing us a glimpse into the future as to what Mercy could be like, what Huskus is going to be like, what Nikki is going to be like, what Howdy is going to be like. There's so much good info here. I really, really like it. So, again, show him some love, show him some support. So, Huskus, as we said, expected to take over from Bray and take that throne long term. Mercy, looking for revenge, looking to fight. Rowan, he is someone that's a bit of a tribute to the old Wyatt family, and it makes sense that it would be him. Ramblin' Rabbit is based on that old promo style of rambling, right? And the fact that Bray would ramble and maybe the Wyatts would get a bit lost at times. And so it's a tribute back to that Wyatt family. It calls back to those promos. It calls back to the Wyatt family. And so Erick Rowan being the person to play that character makes perfect sense. Apparently, the tributes to Harper will come through Rowan, right? And again, actually, I think that's shown itself with the skull on the back of the jacket, because that was the mask that Harper wore in the Bludgeon Brothers, right? So he is someone that is going to be a bit nervous, be a bit afraid, but he will lash out, right? Apparently, he won't be at the forefront, but when needed, he is vicious. He is brutal, right? I love that, though. I love the fact that he is the one that's going to be, because he looks the nicest out of all of them, to be honest, right? I mean, that's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. That's, you know, doesn't look fun. That, I mean, you could sort of see that being a, like, you know, on a flipping whole lovely world ride at Disney. I was trying to think what it was called then. Like, you know, where we've got like lovely animatronics and whatever. It actually doesn't look that spooky at the moment, the rabbit mask one. That one doesn't look very spooky. I'm sure in the right lighting, it absolutely will look spooky. And who knows if there's not parts of it that move, or God only knows. We know that there was a sheep's mask that was made that had animatronics in it. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Like, but apparently he's going to be, that is the one that's going to be brutal. That is the one that's going to be vicious. And this is what I said before about Tom being really specific. He's going to go missing. Apparently he's going to go missing. And when he goes missing, that is going to be a big moment. So don't know when that happens. Don't know how it happens or what it's going to lead us to. But apparently he's going to go missing. They're going to lose Rowan. And so, yeah, that is, oh my God, so much good stuff. And not only that, there's a hidden character. So there's a hidden character. Don't know what that hidden character is. Tom said it's not someone in the static. It's not that person that was kind of hiding backstage. But he wouldn't go into any more detail than that. So there's a hidden character as well. He says that these are basically circus freaks. They're deranged. That's why they're called the Wyatt Sicks. You know, spelt that way. Some will show themselves to be crazier than others. And he says that Alexa and Braun are still expected to be involved. Uncle Howdy's mission is one of justice. Amazing, innit? Amazing. I mean, I don't know really how else to word it other than show Tom some love. I think what he has found out there is incredible. We're just going to have to wait and see if it goes that way, if that is good information. But the way he was so excited about talking about it, the way that he was so specific as well, it really does make me think that that is information that he has been told. So, yeah, there we go. Right, moving on to a few other bits. Luke said, thinking about the Pluto symbol. Don't know if it's been said, but could it be as simple as the fact that Pluto was once the planet that lost its status, being forgotten and overlooked, making people remember are huge parts of the story? I like that. I like that a lot. I think you're onto something there, bud. Matt said, you mentioned in the Unseen video, would they go with Taylor or keep Bo's name? The WWE YouTube channel has now called him Bo. I guess they're going to stick with that. Yeah, well spotted. So Bo Dallas opens up to Uncle Howdy about his brother Bray. The only thing I would say is that if the YouTube channel has not been given any clear direction, someone's going to have to make a decision, aren't they? Like, in order to put this video up, you're going to have to put it up and you're going to have to write something. So it could be they've gone with Bo Dallas because he hasn't referred to himself as Taylor yet. We're not aware of him being Taylor yet. So it could be that whoever is responsible for putting the video up has gone with what they think is correct, rather than them being like directly told. This is a big company. This is a company that's got a lot of people working in it. You could understand communication not being quite right at times. So what I would say is this is an excellent find. It's definitely my favorite kind of theory at the moment. Will he be Bo? Will he be Taylor? Well, YouTube have called him Bo, the WWE YouTube channel. So at the moment, seems like it's going to be Bo. But I also would not be surprised if it turns out he's going to refer to himself as Taylor, and it's just that someone had to make a bit of a call, you know? But excellent work, Matt. Right, the Eternal said, somewhere I don't remember saying Wyndham is the key. Yeah, we spoke about this yesterday. So if you didn't see yesterday's Unseen video, we actually spoke about the key that was spotted in Uncle Howdy's hair. And this is a great point by the Eternal, because it is true, Wyndham is the key was tweeted out, and you know, could it just be a nice reference to Wyndham? Could it be another tribute to Bray? There's people thinking that it could be that it's the key that opens the door that Nikki came through, or maybe it could open the funhouse door, or, you know, there's lots of thoughts as to what the key might be. I think that it's a bit of decoration, and I think that it might be another tribute to Bray. Wyndham is the key. I do remember that from, oh God, I think you're going back. I can't even remember if it was White Rabbit or if it was even before that. But that's probably my favorite theory on it at the moment. Then we got this, look. So here, look, Wyatt Sicks 11 hours ago tweeted this out. What I would say is if you don't want to have it spoiled, pause the video. You can go and start working it out, right? In fact, you can pause it right now. Hang on. There you go. And so you can pause it there, or I can just tell you what it says. And down here, Evan said, stuff like this is so fun to figure out. So basically worked out all the numbers, filled it in, and it says, do you think you're special? Do you think you're special? And what was really interesting was actually underneath, they did a poll, right? I don't know how long it ran for. They got 3,000 votes. Do you think you're special? Yes, 73%. No, 26%. Can I just say to the 26% out there, you're probably right. You're probably right in all fairness. But I voted yes. Look, you can see which one I picked because I am special. Yeah. Yeah, really good. But obviously, it begs the question, who is that to? John said the last puzzle that was like this ended up being a question in Bo's interview. I'm guessing this one will be in the next therapy session. Gacy, perhaps? Which I love that. That is true. Because wasn't the last one of this, how did it feel when your brother died? And of course, that was then a question in Bo's interview. So is this going to be a question in a future interview? I love that from John. I think John's done brilliant work there. Excellent. B-Rad said, I imagine this is likely to be a question to Chad Gable, as he seemingly gloats about being on Raw after the attack. Could be Chad Gable. Could be Chad Gable. I like the idea of it being a question to one of the members, though, and how it ties into how we had one of those puzzles before. Right, Not Cocky Cody. Shout out to you, my friends. I put a couple of, I think this is the last thing we've got, actually. Put a couple of theories in here. So this is on TikTok, and it's 59 seconds long. I actually have not had a chance to watch it yet. I put it in here because I was like, oh, I'll watch that before we do the video. I haven't had a chance to watch it. So we'll play it now. We'll see what Not Cocky Cody says and share our thoughts on it, shall we? So here we go. I genuinely don't know what this is.
Number 1, Uncle Howdy is a projection of Bo Dallas. So to support this theory, if you remember, there was the WWE Twitch hack in which there were no answers, but we got a full therapy session. I believe the reason there were no answers could be the loss of Bray Wyatt, making Bo almost like unable to speak. And the only way for him to project out his emotions and the way he feels about everything is through Uncle Howdy, a vessel that makes it easier to communicate all of this.
Well, that's interesting, actually, because it is true. I do think that it was Bo that went to see the therapist. And I think that... So I think Bo went to see the therapist. I think if it was Howdy sat there, she would have looked a lot more intimidated. I think she would have looked a lot more nervous. There's been lots of thoughts and theories about how there might have been no one there to see the therapist, but... I don't think the therapist is part of this group going forwards. I always thought she was just a vehicle for Nightbirds, and so it doesn't really make sense to not have anyone in the therapy session. So I think it was Bo that went to see her. If it was Howdy, she would have been more intimidated. That does beg the question, why did he not answer the questions? I think the answer might be that they didn't want to give away who it was at that point in the campaign. They didn't want you to hear from Bo at that point. So he chose to write the answers down instead. But it is true, he did not do that when speaking to Uncle Howdy, did he? He actually spoke to Uncle Howdy. So the theory that he feels more comfortable talking to Howdy about this than he did to this therapist is interesting. That's not a theory I'd thought about, to be honest. Let's carry on.
So basically what this means for the overall idea is that he did have a therapist, but he found it hard to answer without these like cryptic ramblings from Howdy, who was within his mind. So the only way he could get out his full feelings is to have these memories of the therapist, both Uncle Howdy there instead, so he can have an internal dialogue with himself, which would explain why we got so personal so quickly in the storyline. Originally, it seemed to be implied that she had went missing via The Fiend, but now that we got that Twitch stream already, it seems harder and harder to believe that idea.
Well, I don't. So, for example, I don't think that's her. I think we spoke about this. This, it's funny because they do look very similar, but I believe them to be completely different women. I don't think that the therapist we had here is actually the therapist here. You can understand why people thought it was, but I said I actually found her Twitter account, and she's actually a comedian. She does stand-up comedy, this woman, and she's really good. I really liked her comedy, actually. But from watching a few of her TikToks and some of her like stand-up stuff, I could tell that that is not the same woman. They are different women. So I don't know if we're meant to not really know that and we're meant to just think they're the same. I don't really know, but I don't think there's a connection to this. I think this was a connection that fans made that WWE I don't even think even thought about, right? So I don't think she went and met the group. We don't know exactly what happened when she met the group. Then she was returned, and we know that she was a little different after, a little changed afterwards. So, but I think that was her job done, to be honest. I think she was just there to try and help us, really, with the arrival of the group. Well, excellent, though. I do love this. I mean, I know that Not Cocky Cody has got some others that you can check out as well, other thoughts and theories. So definitely check out this TikTok account. Seems good. I like it. And I think that was everything. Yeah, I mean, obviously loads of information, loads of stuff from Tom Colohue. Yeah, love him. This video. This is the video. This is the thumbnail if you want to see him talking about it rather than me. And of course, we got the puzzle as well. So yeah, it's been a good day, man. It's been a good day for the Wyatt Sicks, considering they weren't even on SmackDown. So obviously, the weekend now, we have got UFC coming up tomorrow, which we'll be doing the live stream for. On Sunday, we'll be doing our Money in the Bank predictions. And then boom, it's Monday and it's time for the Wyatt Sicks again. So hope you enjoyed this video, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate the support. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.